So why do you think people like fighting so much, like regular people? Why do you think it's such a huge popular sport for thousands of years?
I have a idea about that. People enjoy violence. I think violence, in a weird way, violence makes everything happen. What happened? If people didn't conquer other people or didn't do what they did, we wouldn't be where we're at. Where we're at is not perfect, but we're here. So what do you do once you're here? You know, how'd you get here? How'd you get here? Mo, how'd you get here?
How'd you get here, Mom?
I drove.
Who drove?
You drove. How'd you get here? How'd your people get here?
Right.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or on a ship over the ocean.
Where your ancestry? Like, where are you from? Your ancestry. How'd the people get here? You know, why did they come here? Why people do why do they do what they do? They're not violent, but they're pushing to get forward.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you push, you have to use a little bit of violence. I think people who don't have money look at fighting as a way to escape their reality, or escape their existence, and get somewhere better. But once you get there, what do? You know, let's say you become a fighter. It's very hard to get there. Once you get there, what do? You know, what kind of fighter are you going to be? Or what are you going to do with your experience and your knowledge? Are you going to be a champion? Are you going to help people? Are you going to, you know, what are you going to do? There are some guys became champions and helped many people, made champions. There's some guys that become champions and they don't do shit. They die. They become alcoholics or drug addicts, and they burn out. You know, what you do with your experience in life determines what you become. You know, not so much how successful you became. How successful did you help people around you? In my perspective, that makes a real champion, somebody who's great. And like, you become great and you die, and so what? That's it. It's over. You did something good, but nobody cares. You do something great and you help people around you, your community, your family, your friends, and you help them become better. And what's going to happen? They're going to help other people too. And the world becomes, in a small place, a better place. You can't change the world, but you could change your immediate circumstances by how you think and how you act and what you do. So.
Yeah, I think a lot about the walk of life. I was on a walk with somebody the other day, and I was walking behind somebody, and I realized that I had led him on that walk before, and now he was leading me on that walk, and we were taking somebody for their first walk. And so it's almost like, if you can influence the person who's behind you to understand how to walk through life the right way, then they'll have the ability to do it behind them. And so even if they don't know your name, your impact can be felt for generations. There's also sort of the feeling, as somebody who's never fought professionally or even at a high level, there is the feeling of watching someone. I understand what you're putting at risk a little bit, even just as a human experience. I understand the fear of it. I understand the life or death.
You're risking your life when you're going there.
But I'm watching. Yeah, exactly. That's what's so attractive about it.
That's why people like it.
Yeah.
Because they're watching somebody almost die, but not die. You know, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. I forget who said it.
Until you die yourself in there, and you're like, it's kind of. I want to watch cartoons.
Yeah. So what's your favorite moment? What's the most impactful moment that you ever had inside of a ring or a cage?
I would say when I won my first title, gave that belt to my dad. I won 3 fights that night and won my first, I think it was called Shoot Box International, whatever it was. It was a tournament in Indianapolis in 2000, and I gave the belt to my dad. But when I won the world title against Chase Beebe in, I think it was Albuquerque, New Mexico, when I gave him that belt, that felt heavier because it's just the presence of the media and just all the hype behind it, you know. His promotion made it a bigger thing. So for me, the best moment in my life was when I gave my dad my belt after I won. And I had to get it back from him because they were like, you gotta bring your belt to the conference or whatever. So it was kind of funny.
Have any of those highs been bigger than the lows that maybe you felt in the octagon as well?
Oh man, the highs come with the lows. You can't go super high and not go super low. I've been to the bottom numerous times. For me, what makes a real martial artist is how you respond to when you go low. You know, it's how you get back up and what you do with your time, right? And what you become after. A lot of guys fall and stay down, and they use that as their crutch. Oh, well, this happened to me, and you know, bad luck, and this and this and this. And now I'm fucked up, and yeah, you can snap again though. You can get back up. But for me, a real martial artist, a real fighter, does well in fighting and does well in life, and helps other people at the same time. Not just helps themselves. Helps the world a better place. If you become great, and you become great, what an asshole is that? Well, think about that. You have everything, and you're the greatest person in the world, and you can't help nobody else. I mean, what kind of person are you? You know, seriously, what kind of person are you?
A bad person.
Well, you're kind of shitty. You know, you have all these great things, and you can't help nobody else become great. You're going to be stingy. So, for me, giving back is a big thing, and it's one of my biggest crutches, but one of my biggest strengths as well.
Do you think you can gain that if you're not born with it?
Yeah, you can. You just have to open your mind and see the world how it is. You know, if you're just born and you live what you live and you see what you see, you don't know shit. You know what you're told. You're living in a cave and they're showing you a picture on the wall. You have no idea what you're saying yet. You haven't left the cave. You haven't seen the world. You haven't seen people suffer. You haven't seen people live. You haven't seen super rich people. You haven't seen, like, when you travel and you see things like that, you see the world different. And when you come from lesser means, you appreciate more. When you come from higher means, you still appreciate more because you see the struggle now. You start experiencing the struggle a little bit. You know, you see a little bit different. Now, for me, how is it higher to be a fighter? To have nothing and go to something, or have everything and go to be a fighter is like you have to live like a poor person. You know, you have to wake up in the morning, train, go to work, and then train again, and then go back to work, and then train again, and do some more shit, and then sleep, and then get up, and then a guy who has affluence and has everything, why would he do that? Why would he have to? You know, a guy who has nothing, a guy who has no comfort, he's gonna push a little bit harder. He's gonna get up a little bit earlier. He's gonna not sleep. You know, he's gonna want to get out of his situation more. Now you have those two guys fight. Who would you pick to win the fight? The guy who has lesser trying to gain more, or the guy who has everything? Now look at two world champions, and both guys are poor, but now the guy's a world champion and has everything. And you have a guy who has nothing trying to gain what that guy has. Mm-hmm. Perspectives change, you know. You have comfort, you have affluence, you have all these nice things. It's like a Rocky. Same shit.
So how did you stay at the top for as long as you did?
I suffered, I pushed. That was it. And then I fell. I still pushed, I still suffered, you know, it was the same thing. I suffered though. I pushed my whole career through everything, you know. As a, I don't want to say an old man, as an older gentleman. Most of my big fights were in gyms. They were not in the ring. Most of my huge championships were here. They weren't out there. Now, when you train for a fight, you're probably sparring. And Mo can attest to this. You can also, I would do like, there was no time limit, there was no rounds. You lasted as long as you lasted. You did 2 minutes, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you lasted, you lasted. And when you got tired, the other guy came in. It was like a continual struggle. And everybody that came to the gym, they wanted to learn. For me, you know, I see if they could beat me first. So they wanted to try to wrestle me or box me, or they wanted to see what I knew first before I could show them anything. So for me, it was always about proving myself to other people. Now that I don't have to do that no more, it's kind of boring, you know. It's kind of slow. I feel like I'm just like helping other people out. But I know that if I help myself out, I couldn't help everybody else. And I did both things for a long time. You know, I was a world champion. Before I was a world champion, I was champion of North America, whatever judo or whatever organization it was. I had like 8 different titles. And during that whole time, I always taught. And it's heavy training people and helping people, and then training yourself at the same time. It's this fucking double-edged sword there. So it's hard to do both. So to be a real fighter, to be a real champion, you have to dedicate your time to yourself. You have to push yourself. You have to make yourself more than somebody else that's small, you know. And that's not easy because you have to be on your own shit. It's a whole different mentality. When you want to be a shark, you gotta go in the water, you gotta be a shark.
What do you think you'll remember most? Being the competitor, the warrior, or being the sage, the teacher?
Also a hard question. Double-edged sword. I'm both. I can still fuck you up and I can still teach you something. So for me, it's hard because like I come to the gym and I want to do so many things. And I know that if I get lost in that spell, I'll quit trying to help everybody. I'll get lost in myself, you know. So I have to think. There's a time that I gave to myself. For 20 years, all I did was martial arts and fight and travel and do all these cool things. Now, I have 20 more years, maybe 10 more years, 30 more years, whatever it is. Do I want to be that old guy trying to hold on to what he had, or do I want to grow and be a man and take care of what he has in front of him, what he amassed, you know? I always tried to hold on to what I amassed when I was fighting when I was younger. World titles, money, women, whatever it was. Try to hold on to everything. You can't. It's like sand. It's going to fall through your fingers. You can't hold on to it. And as I started losing things, I realized that what I really had was already in front of me. It was my students. It was my martial arts. It was my training. It was my, I don't want to say my philosophy or my mentality, but just the way that I was doing what I was doing already normal. Always trying to live 2 lives, you know. You can't live for yourself and live for somebody else. I don't think so anyways. It's hard to do that. I tried it. It don't work that way. You either for other people and you help others, or you help yourself. You can do both, but you're still making money off other people. Is that wrong? No, it's business. But sometimes business can be shady. Sometimes people get greedy, you know. So for me, I try to make a balance of that.
Do you regret anything from your career professionally?
Giving too much, I would say, if I was angry, and not giving enough if I wasn't angry. So like, I gave everything to everybody. Nobody that ever met me could ever say I didn't give them everything, because I gave everything away. And no one could really say I took something from them. So I really don't have any qualms. You know, like, my life was hard, but it was good at the same time. And now my life is easy. I teach, I have a beautiful gym, I have great students, I have great staff. Like, my life is, it's hard because my life is so easy right now. You know, I'm used to the struggle, I'm used to fighting, I'm used to like grinding, and now I don't have to grind. Now I take care of kids. Now I help people, you know.
It's a new grind though.
A little bit slow, a little bit different. You know, until these guys pick up, then shit gets heavier. But we'll get there.
Yeah, so what does that look like? Do you think you'll coach at a high level? Do you think you'll take people to high levels?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I have so many students that have so much ability and so much acumen that they can grow so high. It just depends on what they want to do. I can't choose for somebody to be great. They have to want to be great themselves, and I can just help them be there. I can just be there with them. I can't make them. I can't say, you're going to be great, you're going to do this, you're going to do... No, I can't. I can't make you do shit. I can tell you you have the ability, because anyone has the ability, but you have to push yourself that way. You have to think of yourself that way. You have to like believe that. That belief, that self-belief is hard for some people, you know, the way the world is. you can't really believe that sometimes because the world tells you can't do that, or you can't do this, or you have to do this. People get stuck.
How disciplined are you? Are you somebody who loves training and coaching every time you do it? Or are there days when you just don't want to do it and you show up anyway?
Oh, there's days I don't want to do shit. There's days that I don't want to get up. I don't want to come to the gym. I don't want to teach. I don't want to do anything. There's days I don't want to do a jack thing. But when I get up, I realize that my kids are up and they need me. If my kids are up, my students are up, and then, you know, like I have a different perspective for things because of how I've grown up and how I live my life. Like for me, if I don't eat, it's okay. If you don't eat, it's not okay. So if I don't get something, it's all right, but you have to get it. So that's kind of the mentality that I have, how I live my life now. So like, if you train and you work out and you become great, that's all right. I don't gotta do it myself because I already did it already. Like, it's just I'm an older person. I'm just more experienced. Like, I don't have to go out there and win a world title again. I already did it. I don't gotta go out there and win this fight, or I don't go out and win a tournament, or I don't gotta go out there. I don't have to. I want to, and if I did, I'm greedy, and I would get lost in that, and I would just want that. I'm not, would you say addictive personality?
Sure.
I love violence. I want to train. I want to work out. I want to do shit every day. If I help people and I make that my addiction, it's not a bad place, you know. And I did that before. I was just trying to do two things at once. Now I'm just working on one thing. It's not bad.
So, you have children. What do you think about the way that social media has connected everybody, and everything you've ever said on social media for them is going to be known and passed around? As somebody who was incredibly early on struggled with some silly things on social media, you know, where do you think that's going? And do you have any like insight on that? Because you're somebody that has struggled with that in the past, just from something silly, right? So where does that go from here, and what are your thoughts?
I think social media is a double-edged sword and everything. Like, it's great because you can talk to anybody you want to talk to, but at the same time, it gets you in really bad trouble, depending on what you say, what you post, or what you do. So for me, social media is not the best thing in the world, depending on how you use it. You know, most people don't understand what they're saying or posting or doing or whatever. As far as my comments that I made or that I said, I don't think I said anything horrible or bad, but I think people have said worse and got away with it. I'm not gonna talk more about that, but most people on social media, they're trying to put up a facade, trying to put up an image of what they want to be, that they can't be. They use filters and they post pictures like nice cars or big houses or whatever it is. That's not their shit. For me, that's why I love martial arts so much, because the facade ends when you come here. When you walk in the door, I don't care what picture you post or what you say or the quote you quoted or whatever. That shit ends here. You take off your shoes and your socks and you come on, man. This shit's over. So for me, it's put up or shut up. You know, social media is a good thing, but look at NTX or FTX or whatever it was. It's fucking crypto shit.
Yeah.
You know, I have a lot of friends that got fucked over with that.
Oh no.
Yeah. And they were trying to get me to go on and stuff like that. You know, so people can talk a big game and show you all this stuff, but social media and real world is different things. For me, that's why my go-to of everything is like, I can't change Republicans or Democrats or the world or the government, or I can't change what happens in the Philippines or the weather. I can affect what I can affect right here. And if I can change enough people right here in close proximity to me, maybe those guys or those women will change people around them, and then the world will become a better place in a small fragment, and then it go from there. So you can do what you can do.
What does freedom mean to you?
Freedom? True freedom?
Yeah.
Shit, bro. You don't want to ask me that question. True freedom? No responsibility? Soccer ball? A beach? tacos. That's it.
So you're a
Some
freedom-
sun, some
you're-
water, some balls to play, kick, score a goal.
So you're a freedom from, not a freedom to guy. Because freedom from is what you just described, right? Freedom from having to get fucked with. Freedom to do the stuff that you want to do. That's beautiful, man. And
I want to have a good time, bro.
but what you just described wasn't expensive, right?
No,
Yeah.
I just need some sun, some
Yeah.
water, some sand, a
I got
bottle
some
plate
sand
for
for you.
friends. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I don't need much, man.
Yeah.
I don't need much. I'm a simple person.
So let's say Miguel meets himself from 10 years from now.
I'll beat my ass.
What would he tell you? What would he tell you you're doing great? And what would he tell you you're still
The
struggling?
old version of me telling the young version of me,
Yeah. So you're 50, whatever, 52, 53.
hell yeah. And I talked to my 20-year-old version,
Yeah.
30-year-old version.
Yeah.
I'm still fighting, and I'm older now.
Yeah, what would you tell that kid?
Oh man, I can't say that on camera. I can say it on camera, but you can't post it.
Okay.
I can say it on camera.
No, you're good, man. We don't have to go there.
I have kids, bro. I can't say that shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can't say what I want to say.
Okay.
If I was older, talking to my younger self, I would say to be careful of the company that I keep. I would say don't trust your managers or your agents, and take care of yourself. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't do those things. I
Yeah,
didn't
to
watch
be-
the people I was around. People that were around me all the time. They just became more and more and more. And I didn't realize, because I was around so many people that were taking care of me were using me. And then, I didn't take care of the shit that was behind, because I was doing everything else. So I was living two ways. You can't be a superstar and a gym owner at the same time. It's kind of hard.
Why does that happen so much? Why do so many people that are talented, whether they're artists or fighters, athletes, why do they get taken advantage of so much?
Money, booze, and women.
Yeah.
That's it. You get offered enough money to do something, to go somewhere. Like, I wouldn't go to a bar or a club in Chicago, but they're going to give me $5,000 to go sit at a free table and sit down and talk to a bunch of girls for $5,000. Well, I'm not going to say no. Okay, I'll come in and sit down for 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. Sit down, have a $5,000 and talk to some people. It's hard to pass that up. It's the devil coming at you. And then once you take that, now every other opportunity that comes to you to go here or go there or do this, do that, now you're basically making money for just being who you are. And that's what you work for your whole life, right? You fought to make money fighting, but now because you're a good fighter, they're gonna pay you just to hang out somewhere. But then when you're hanging out in San Diego or in Tampa or in Miami or in Texas or wherever you're at, there's a lot of shit that goes on when you hang out with people, Then you start getting lost with people, you start getting away from what you're good at, so it's a double-edged sword. Then the people you're around, that like that want to hang out and want to have fun, they want to hang out with you because you're having fun. They're not really your people, they're your posse or your sidekicks or whatever they are. And that makes shit hard too, because they start flourishing stuff, so it's a double-edged sword, pretty much.
You're so good about bringing people together, and I'm sure you were as much or more so then. So was there a time when you started to feel relationships change as you went from Miguel the up-and-comer to Miguel the champion who's flying all over the world? And did relationships start to change? Did you start to feel like they're like a something between friendships?
The biggest change that I felt wasn't when I was coming up. That was when I was coming down. Because I was bars and clubs. I would have guys. I wouldn't even go. I would have guys that would just wear my shirts and go up there. Oh, Miguel's guys, we're here. We're gonna hang out. And they would give them. The owners would hook me up at 3 a.m. Hey, I took care of your guys. You had 4 guys come down. Da, da, da. And now I owe that guy something because he took care of my guys. Now I gotta owe him a birthday party or whatever he gets going down. And it's weird because when you're going down, people still want to go for that ride, even though you're not. Like in my mind, when I was going down, I knew I couldn't enjoy those same things because I was not on top. I was falling down. But everybody still wanted to ride that wave on the way down just to get the last of what they were getting. Then I started seeing everything. I think I didn't have a cell phone like 6-7 months. I got rid of my cell phone. Got rid of all my contacts. Like, she kept the same number, just didn't have a cell phone for a while. I just didn't want to talk to anybody because I would get calls every night. Promoters, friends, trainee partners, like girl, like anybody hit me up there. We know you're home. We know you're there. Come out. Because I still had pool in the area, and I just gave all that shit up. And then when I got my phone again, I started like, you have nobody's numbers. It's not you. I only have your number if I see you again and talk to you. Oh, I text you. I haven't had a phone for 6 months. Sorry. What's your number again? And that was how I met everybody again. So I had to like die for a while, pretty much, socially, to reset my shit, to get back in order.
Was that liberating or depressing?
Both.
Yeah.
Both. Liberating and depressing.
Yeah. How do you get through that?
The future. Seeing my family, seeing my kids, knowing that I had something to give back to the community, knowing that I had an experience that was worth something that could help other people, knowing that I had, at that time, fighters and people that were training under me that like wanted me to come to the gym. They wanted, like knowing that I had something to give back, that I had amassed through experience, made me have a recollection of like, I have to give up. I have to do that. I gotta do this shit. I can't give up. I don't want to show my kids I'm a quitter. I don't want to show my fans and my students that I give up and that I quit. I have to push. I have to go forward. I have to move forward. So that was like one of the main drives.
Do you have any kind of like routine as far as like anything, like meditation or fitness or breath work or anything that you find that centers you or makes you feel better?
Teaching.
Yeah.
Coming to the gym. That's my therapy. I come to work, and when I come to work, I'm not really working. I'm taking care of myself while I'm helping other people at the same time. So it's kind of like a paradoxical phrase, I'm coming to give time, but I'm also gaining at the same time. So I'd say my main habit is just being at the gym. If I didn't have the gym, I'd probably be on some other shit crazy.
That's actually the next question is, what if you were the same exact person you are, but you just failed at fighting from the very beginning? What if you didn't have fighting? What would have happened?
Be a great doctor, or a great drug dealer, a great detective, or a great murderer. I'd be opposite spectrum of something. I would have been great at something. I would have figured something out. I love the struggle. I enjoy violence.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, right? So you've been hitting the head a lot. You ever think about like CT or anything like that?
Yeah, but what am I gonna do about it? That's your problem, not mine. That's not my problem. That's your problem, bro.
Yeah.
I hear about that a lot too. People talk about that shit. And I'm like, that's not my problem.
Yeah.
That's your guys' problem. You figure that shit out.
Yeah, we're working on it.
I'll be alright.
We're working on it.
I'll be okay.
How many times do you think you've been knocked out in your life?
This past weekend, including the last time I got knocked out, I would say like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah. Scary, isn't it?
I mean, it's not scary when you get a paycheck after. It's not scary when the doctor's like wiping your face and checking your head and your eyes and shit. It's scary when you're in a parking lot and there's no cameras and you get jumped by 10 people. That's scary. Different knockout. So depending on how you get knocked out, depends on how it feels. If you don't get a paycheck when you're done, it's kind of shady. If you get fucked up afterwards, you just no paycheck and you gotta go to the hospital, it's kind of shucks.
Was there ever a night where you didn't want to go out for a big fight? Or where you didn't feel like it or you weren't feeling like yourself?
Oh yeah, 100%. I fought 4 or 5 times in my life where I had to fight because I needed the paycheck. Because in the old days, my gym took care of the gym. Half the people I trained didn't pay. Mm-hmm. The other half paid half price, or the kids trained free, or whatever it was. And the gym took care of the gym. And my fight career took care of me and my family. And there was like 3 or 4 fights where I had a fucked up knee, I had a bad hand, I had my back messed up, my shoulder was bad, and I couldn't train for the training camp because I was hurt, but I had to take the fight to make the money. So I had to take the fights. So those are the times that I fought where it's like when you go out there, I've told Mo before, and so a couple guys. I had a guy fight 2 months ago, a month ago, and I had 3 guys fight, but one guy didn't really train, the other guys trained. You do a self-audit before you walk out. You're gonna do a grappling match, kickboxing, MMA, whatever it is, UFC or small level. You're gonna do a self-audit before you walk out there. They're calling your name, you're getting ready. If in your self-audit you didn't do everything in your perspective, in your mentality to be where you gotta be, you're gonna look at the other person and be scared and say, fuck, that guy paid a higher price than me, or that guy, no matter what he looks like, you know. I fought guys that looked like monsters, and I would look at them like they were fucking sheep. Because I know no matter how they looked, and no matter how I looked, I paid a bigger price than they paid to be here. And when we fought, that's how it was. They were a fucking sheep. So that mentality, for me, is very important for guys that want to compete or do good in life. You have to have that mentality. That mentality of, I put in, like I was never the greatest or the best or the strongest or the biggest, but I was the most consistent and I pushed the most. And when I failed, I didn't say, well, I suck, I give up. No, I figured that shit out, you know. And when you do that enough, it gives you a different perspective in life to push and not give up, and to help people to push and never give up. But it's just when those people stop pushing and they want to quit, do you keep helping them or do you give up on them? My struggle was when I was helping people that gave up, I was still trying to bring them with me. And that's when you start fucking up too, because now you're starting to stay back and help people that are trying to get back up and go back down. You know, that was my struggle.
So you're getting ready to fight somebody. What is your mindset towards the opponent? Are you angry? Do you try to create drama, or do you just treat it like a job?
No, it's not even a job. It's my life. My job's not a life. My life's not a job. When I go out there to fight you, I'm creating a moment in history. We're going to see who the better man is today. Either it's going to be me or it's going to be you. And it's going to be marked down in history. People are going to watch this and they're going to be able to come back and see this again. That's what that moment is for me. It's not about anything like that. It's about the moment. It's about creating history. It's about fireworks. When the fireworks explode, do you know how it's going to make the sound? Do you know how it's going to look? It's going to be loud. It's going to be bright. It can be fucking super bright. It can be super low. It could be not loud at all. It just depends on what happens and how the chemicals meet. We're 2 chemicals meeting. We're 2 pieces of matter meeting at one time. And we both train for this situation. It's exciting. It's a moment in history being created.
Do you have any relationships with people that you've trained with in the past or fought with in the past?
Nope. I don't talk to anybody. I mean, I still am friends with many of my old colleagues and my old training partners and stuff, but I really don't talk to anybody, man. I live a simple life. I take care of my kids. I come to the gym. I take care of my girl. I make dinner. And that's about it. I don't do shit, man. I live a pretty... I know I look exciting, like I'm a superhero and I have all these muscles, but I don't really do shit besides take care of my people, my family, my friends.
Do you find you're attracted to a certain type of person? So like, I know getting out of the military, this is a very common thing. You get out of the military and it feels like everybody's moving through sand, you know, everybody's moving slow. As somebody who's fought at a very high level, do you find out in public that you're attracted to regular people in conversation, or do you not really draw to that very much?
I don't like fake people.
Yeah.
I can tell if you're fake right away.
Oh yeah.
But someone says something, how they look or what they, you know, just the initial response I get from somebody when I meet them or talk to them, I can tell if they're fake or not. And if you're fake, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to treat you like a fake person. If you're real, I'm going to talk to you like a real person. I like to hang out with real people, people that are human beings, not people. People wear masks. People pretend to be something they're not, or do a job they hate, or whatever it is. I like talking to human beings. And so, in my perspective, people who walk in my academy, if they're super fake or they're ugly or they're mean or they're vicious or they want to hurt people, they're not gonna last here. They're not gonna last here because they're gonna get hurt first, and they're gonna feel slighted, or they're gonna go somewhere else so they can hurt somebody. So for me, feel like I've created an environment that I always wanted when I was younger. You know, a place for a family to come. The mom could do kickboxing or lift weights or she can do whatever she wants. The dad can do whatever he wants. Do you have kids? There's the kids room. There's like stuff for the whole family. And for me, martial arts for me is not just like a sport or to make money. It's a lifestyle for me. It's the way how I live my life. My jiu-jitsu and my kickboxing does not define how I fight. It defines how I live my life. So it means a little bit different to me. You know, the way I fight, the way I train people, is the way I eat, is the way I sleep, is the way I do everything else. You know, so for me, to be a true martial artist is to be able to convey how you train and live in the gym, but live in life the same way. Take the same perseverance the same way.
Do you think your kids will fight?
I hope so. I don't think so, man. I don't know. They're 4 and 5. My daughter's not gonna fight. She's 15.
I heard she's a killer, though. I heard she's good.
But listen, she's a monster. Listen, she's a monster. Again, I can't make you a monster by saying you're a monster. You have to want to be a monster. Want to be a monster and being a monster are 2 different things. She's scary. She's ugly. She's gross, but she wants to be. Does she want to be that way? My sons, I can help anybody's kid. I can help any human being that I meet that comes in this door. Disability, whatever it is, I could figure something out for you. Because I'm my kid's daddy for some reason. I can't teach my kids shit, you know. It's a weird thing to say, but I can help anybody's kids. And I'm trying to teach my own kids jiu-jitsu and kickboxing. I'm like, I want to go play. I want to play. Oh, they want to do all this other stuff. Yeah, they're here all the time, you know. So when they come to train, they don't want to play. They don't want to train.
Yeah, I've heard it said that you can tell good parents because their children are different because they were allowed to be. Their children all have different lives, and you can tell bad parents because their kids come out exactly the same.
Thank you so much for saying that I'm a good parent.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I'm a fucking horrible parent.
Oh, why do you think that?
Because, man, my kids should be monsters already. They should be training
come
at
on.
1 year old, being ninjas at 2.
The only way to do that would have been if you would have controlled them, right? And if you would have inflicted yourself on
I'm
them.
not a controlling person, bro. I don't control nobody. Unless you sign a contract.
Yeah.
You wanna be, then it's
I've seen you
different.
control some motherfuckers.
Then it's different. Then it's different.
Yeah.
My kids, not, man. They gotta be free.
Yeah.
I was allowed freedom when I grew up in the 80s, man. It was morning. My mom and dad went to work. I was outside till they came home, you know. And then when they got home, I still didn't come home. The lights came on, and if I didn't get in the house, I got my ass whooped. It was a whole different thing back in the day, you know. You found food. You drank water for water hoses. You know, your bike didn't have brakes. It was a whole different thing. There was no helmets or knee pads, no elbow pads.
Wow. So, when it's all said and done, what is the impact that you wish to make on the world?
If I could make one impact on the world and make it stick and not be true, I would say everybody can have food and somewhere warm to sleep at night and be safe. If I could change the world and make everything better, that's what I would do. Everybody have food, a place to sleep, somewhere to be safe. Realistically, what can I do to make the world a better place, or how I want the world? I take care of my family and my students, make sure my gym is the best gym it can be in the area that it's in, if not in the world. That's it.
Okay, and so then the next question is, if you had access to unlimited financial money, how would you grow this? How would you create it? Would it stay one place? What would you do if somebody said, here's $100 million to spread the Torres MMA message?
I wouldn't spread my message. I would help people by spreading my message. I'd open more gyms, but I would be the same way, try to help people. The problem is getting what I do is different than what someone else's does. You know, so to recreate yourself, I can't be in 100 places, but I could help 100 people different ways. You know, so if I had $100 million, I would do things to help people, but it wouldn't be like this. That's the problem with the business that I have. If I wasn't here, this wouldn't exist. You know, so it's I can train people to help me out and teach class, but I have to be here too. It's a hard thing to carry because you have to be here. You have to show your face.
I call that a magician. That's what I do for a living, right? Is I help people that have magic between their ears and they don't think that they can reproduce it in the world. And I'm not saying you certainly could, but do you think there are things you could do that would enable you to impact more lives by making it so you weren't the only one?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm just greedy.
Yeah, sure.
I'm an old school greedy bastard. Carlson would tell me stories. We would drive 2 or 3 hours places. And he would tell me these stories, the things that he went through. And I'm like, fuck, I went through that same thing last week. And Carl's was like, yeah, you're an old soul. Like, that's why he kind of gravitated towards me a little bit, you know. I just think that my perspective is from my experience in life, you know. I could think different, I could change it, but it works for me. It works for the people that I'm with. I could expand it times 10, but to what magnitude do I want to extend it to the world to help everybody for? People can come to me, people can look at my shit online. You know, like, I want to expand myself to make my money, but then from my experience in the past, the more I've expanded myself, the more I spare myself then. You know? Now that I'm centered here in one location, not going to Montreal and Florida, Las Vegas, all these New York, all these different places, I have a strong connection to the people. So it's just what you want. That's why I was trying to talk about earlier, like if you want to be great yourself, you have to work on yourself, and you got to be great yourself. And you got to be a dog. You got to be a wolf. You want to help other people. You can help yourself as well and help other people, but you're helping other people too. It's a double-edged sword. You can help yourself and help other people, but you're only helping yourself. The people are following you because you're rising to a certain level of fame or whatever. Look at Conor McGregor. He helped so many people like look up to him. But what example did he leave? Was he a true martial artist? You know, how did he act behind the scenes? How did he make up for it? You know, what did he do after? Everybody's different. A guy like Machida, for me, he's a true martial artist. He lives the way his martial arts fight style is in his life. The way he kicks you in the head in the cage is the way he's gonna fucking eat some chicken, or the way he's gonna do his bed, the same fucking technique, you know?
Yeah.
So, for me, that perspective of how you live your life is what you do.
Yeah. Conor's kind of like a prize fighter more than, and I think he probably...
He's an entertainer.
Yeah,
he's not
right.
a prize fighter.
Yeah.
He's an entertainer.
Okay. Yeah.
Like a WWF person. I'm sorry. WWE. Is that where it is now? Okay.
Yeah, we're the
I'm
weird
old.
generation.
I'm old. I'm sorry. My bad. Or whatever it is now.
It's
whatever it is,
WWE. I'm right
whatever it
with you,
is.
man. I always think WWF with the panda.
Yeah. So it's like he was like one of those guys. He talked the big shit, and then he came out, put up a show, and then talked a bunch of shit after. For me, you could be an entertainer and a showman. It's good. The world needs that, but if you're gonna follow somebody, don't follow an entertainer or like somebody that doesn't live the way they say.
Yeah.
You know, a guy that Anderson Silva. You know, guys like that is the fucking sweetest guy in the world.
Yeah.
Talks to you the way he talks to his daughter. You know, and you could be the guy he's fighting. Oh no, I don't. You go in the fucking cage and they shut the door.
Yeah.
And it's fucking lights out, man.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of persona is what I gravitate towards. You know, you have a heavy hand. You have a demon hand with a Buddha heart, is what they say. You gotta be ugly to be able to commit violence and be ugly. But you don't choose to be that way because you're a good person. To me, that's a human being. Someone who can commit extreme violence but chooses not to. And chooses to be civil and chooses to help other people or protect other people or train or grow other people. To me, that's a human being.
Yeah, some of my favorite people you would describe as like a warrior poet, right?
Yeah.
One of my friends, Angelo Cisco, has Alpha Hippie, and he's like a psychedelics and alpha fitness guy, you know? Did you ever talk shit? I don't have Twitter or anything, so back in the day I wouldn't know, but were you ever like a shit talker before fights?
No, I never talk shit. Again, I grew up being bullied and being talked shit to my whole life. So when I came up fighting, I just wanted to put up. I didn't want to fucking say anything. I just wanted to show up and let you talk shit, and let you say what you're going to say, and when I show up, I just fucking take care of business. It was different. More of an old school mentality. I wasn't a big talker before the fight. I can talk shit. I do talk shit. But not in interviews or anything like that. I wouldn't do anything like that. It was more respectful. I always respected the guys that were fighting because they were dedicating their time the same way I was to a certain limit they were going to meet at. So I didn't have the notion to want to talk shit. Even though I could have or I should have. Not my style. They wanted me to. The UFC promo people and the PR guys always wanted me to be, they wanted a Conor McGregor earlier. That was not my style.
Yeah, that wasn't really very popular in sport until, I mean, I guess Tito or a couple of people, but, you know.
Who's the guy that, Chael Sonnen.
Chael
Sonnen would take friends of his, and they would do Q&As, because I would do Q&As in those days. And they would do Q&As, and there were black guys in the audience.
Oh, really?
That would ask them loaded questions. They already had great comebacks.
Yeah, that's funny.
And no, well, he learned this from a guy from the WWF.
I was going to say, he's a big wrestling guy.
He learned from the wrestler guys
how
to create this persona and create this, you know. Yeah. So that was the beginning of all this shit, you know.
Yeah.
Guys that were trying to, like, not... For me, fighting is about the struggle of life.
Mm-hmm.
It may be entertaining. I could put it in a nice package for you, but that's what it is. Two guys are fighting for the bigger paycheck. Someone's gonna eat, someone's not gonna eat tonight. Someone's gonna go to the hospital, someone's gonna go and they're gonna have sex with their wife. Mm-hmm. Only one guy's gonna win tonight. People like that struggle. Life's not that way, you know. The struggle of life is not dictated to what happens in the cage. What happens after the cage dictates life. Some guys can win that fight and they can fuck up their lives. Some guys can lose that fight and make their lives ultra better. What's that white man can't jump? Sometimes when you lose, you really win, and sometimes you win, you really lose. Yeah, same shit.
I think about that movie sometimes. They're coming out with a new
all the time, bro. The new one's not gonna mean shit. The old one's always the best.
Andrew Schultz is in it. He's good.
Who?
Andrew Schultz. He's good.
Okay.
You'll like it.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. The new Batman wasn't bad. The new Batman was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Which one?
The new Batman.
Oh, the one with the Nirvana.
With the guy from.
I can't believe that I like.
I
that
never
guy.
even seen.
Pattinson?
I never even seen the what was that Wolfpack movie or the vampire and wolves.
Oh, Twilight.
I never seen any of that
I'm
shit.
not a fan.
I hated the guy from the beginning. And
Yeah.
he was Batman, and you know what? He was pretty good.
And he's good in other stuff too.
You did it. I didn't watch your other shit. I seen Batman. I don't know your name.
Is it
okay.
Brian
It was
Pattinson?
good.
What's his first name?
Robert.
Robert Pattinson.
All right,
Thanks,
Robert.
thanks,
All
Jamie.
right, Bob.
Jamie, pull that up.
Listen, it was all right. It was good. I liked your Batman.
It was
version.
great. It was great.
It was good. He killed people.
Yeah.
Batman kills.
DC's fucking up though, man.
Bro, it's all right.
Yeah, you're right.
They're doing what they do, but it's still all right.
Now they're gonna have like two different universes. One with like Joker and Batman, and then one with like all the Wonder Woman, Superman, all that stuff.
Good.
Yeah, sure.
Let it happen.
Yeah. You gonna go see Avatar?
I already watched it.
Yeah, was it
On
good?
bootleg. It was decent.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it was on bootleg, so it was that great.
Well, that's the thing. It's like
It was the cab version. It was people walking through and stuff, and you couldn't hear it that good. It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. Hell yeah, I'm gonna watch Avatar in theaters.
Yeah, I want to go.
I'm gonna watch it IMAX though. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
pick a day.
Well, I went and saw the
Nah,
first one
kids.
at the Navy Pier when it came out.
Oh, okay.
Which was pretty good.
Lucky
Which
you,
was pretty
man.
good. Well, fucking stood in line.
It's all right.
So let's say you had to give up martial arts and coaching and try something totally new you never did before. What do you think that might be?
It'd be a soldier, a sniper, SAS,
Yeah.
Navy SEAL shit. I would want to go do things.
You know Tim Kennedy?
Yeah.
Dude.
I wouldn't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to be here now. But I'm here, and I'm doing a good job. If I didn't have this, what would I do with my time? I'd be a murderer, man. I'd go out there and try to hunt bad guys, like real bad guys. I wouldn't be a cop or I wouldn't be FBI. I would try to go hunt bad guys.
That's interesting. So you work with a lot of police, and you also are from East Chicago, and I'm sure are associated with some folks that do some stuff that police wouldn't agree with. How do you describe that crossroads?
I'm a human being,
Yeah, of course.
and the officers that I train are also human beings. And when we share time on the mat, they see it. A human being like them. That's it.
Yeah.
We're all humans, man. When you're living behind a gun or a badge or a moniker or a title or whatever it is, you build a wall, so you can't really you talk down to people. You don't talk to people. I don't have a moniker. I'm not an instructor. I don't want to be called sensei or whatever, champion or whatever shit people say. My name is Miguel, and we're gonna talk and we're gonna meet each other. We're gonna figure this shit out. Or we're not. Go somewhere else. Either way. So that's I have a pretty simple way of that. In the old days, no matter who you were, I would be obsessed to try to help you no matter what. Now it's different. If we talk, if we meet, and shit is clean, and you're all right, and you show up, I can help you. So there's a lot of cops that I train that come all the time, and they've literally, week by week, will tell me their whole demeanor changes when they get somebody over or they have an issue with somebody. Their confidence changes, how they talk to people. When you can handle yourself with your hands, the way you talk to somebody is a little bit different. You could have a loud voice but still sound weak, and you could have a soft voice and sound strong, depending on what you have behind what you're saying. So a lot of the cops that I'm training, like in the past, I want to say 2 or 3 months, they have altercations and stops, and they have to arrest people. They're having a lot more success in what they're doing. Guys who don't train, that's when you have your problems, because you can't really handle yourself. I've seen numerous videos of officers, simple altercation that gets violent and deadly for no reason, because they couldn't handle themselves. So that confidence of being able to handle yourself goes over 10 times more than what you think.
Yeah, Tom DeBlas, I think, is the one that posts those videos of people all the time where it's funny in some ways, but it's actually pretty scary.
It's pretty scary, man.
There's so many people that are getting hurt or potentially getting hurt just because people don't know how to move and detain people and do things.
Or they think they know how to move.
Yeah.
And they have this false insecurity and get hurt. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what's the answer there? What's the answer for these communities where, there's a ton of struggle and people that maybe don't have a way out, and then there's also basically an active deployment of what is essentially a special forces unit to an American city? What's the solution there? Do we break down barriers? Do we have more police, less police? What do you think? Is it starting a family?
Say that again.
Well, I think that especially in the last few years, we're going through a cycle of, division between, police and people maybe that are in lower income or
You're going to make it real political right here.
No, you don't have to get political. It's more like, is it more training for police? Is it more social work?
I'll give my thought process on this. So, I've traveled a lot of places. I've grown up poor. I've been rich and been poor again. It's hard to change things in a system that's set. You can have the right mentality and the right process and the right plan, but if the system is the system, you're not really going to change much. You'll make a little spark, but the system's going to overtake what's going on over time. To change the system, you have to change the system. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
That's Donald Trump or Biden. You know, I don't think any of those guys are right. You know, I think the left and the right are both fucked up. They're both stuck on far sides of the left and the right. If they can meet in the middle, the way it should be, I think the world will be a better place. You know, medication for some people who are sick, $1,000 a pill or a shot or whatever it is to get better. It could be 2 cents. It could be free. You know, like why not help people to have better lives, and then the people make lives better for them. Like for me, life is an easy thing, but the way the system is set up makes it difficult. You're born and you don't have a dad. Your dad is in jail or shot or died, and your mom is poor. You don't have any grandparents, and you're growing up somewhere. You didn't choose to be born there. You just were made, and now you're living in this shit. The same person, 2 towns away, born, 5 parents, bunch of money, grandparents, dads, uncles, all this stuff. For one person be a part of a system that he's indoctrinated into, and the other person's also indoctrinated, just in the other sense. Mm-hmm. To break that cycle is hard. To get out of that cycle is hard. You know, you have to fight out of that shit. You have to struggle out of that. I don't think there's a clear path or a clear law or a clear way we can make that happen. The system has to change. But if the system changes, people gotta change. And people are assholes, so it's probably not gonna change.
Yeah, it's weird because you saw there was a little moment there where technology was ahead of government, right? Where control seemed like it was kind of slipping, and then now it feels like they're catching back up.
The government has control there.
I'm
sorry.
I mean,
be careful what you look up in there,
right? Yeah, I mean they can. It's not just the government either.
It's the people that.
It's everything.
Everybody can look at that shit. Anybody that's smart can look at your shit.
Yeah. It's everything because it's funny because freedom of speech exists in the law terms, except it's your neighbor, right? It's the community that's telling you that you're canceled now or whatever. It exists until you step outside of some boundary.
It exists until you hurt somebody's feelings.
Yeah.
And somebody gets wet. Oh, you got me wet.
Yeah. Is it your responsibility who you offend? As a person, not you as Miguel, really.
I mean, I don't have a pedestal anymore, well, a platform to offend people. So if I offend anybody, you can go fuck yourself because I'm not famous anymore.
Yeah.
In the old days, that was a UFC or my manager or, sponsors. Oh, you can't say that, you can't do that. They never said that until I got fired that one time. They would even give me.
It was that one time.
They would give me the UFC account on the weekends,
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I could post whatever I want.
Really? That's cool.
And I would post crazy shit about everybody.
Yeah.
Funny things, stupid things, dumb things, stupid pictures. I just had the account, and then just to get fired for a
They
stupid
used to
comment.
do that a lot back in the day.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I hear you.
The system has to change. People, I think, change with the system that they live under.
Yeah.
You're born, you're trained a certain way, you learn a certain way, you live a certain way. You're indoctrinated a certain way, you're gonna fucking do the same things. And then to be out of that spectrum, let's say you grew up in China and you're Buddhist your whole life, and you come to America, and everyone's preaching Christianity to you. It's gonna be a little bit weird. They're gonna treat you like an outsider. They're not gonna, So to be accepted, you have to adopt that system.
Mm-hmm.
That's not your system. Same thing if you're American and you're born in Indiana and you move to Qatar or Saudi Arabia or wherever, somewhere in the Middle East, and you gotta live out there. People are gonna look at you different. They're gonna treat you different. You didn't choose that. Mm-hmm. So for people to change the system, they gotta change their mentality. They gotta change the way they think. They gotta change the way they're raised. It just starts when they're super young.
Yeah.
So they change the system right now, the way it is. I don't see a change. I see these getting in the future worse, actually. I'm not being pessimistic. I'm being realistic. A little bit different.
Yeah, I was going to ask do you think of yourself as an optimist?
No, realist.
Pragmatist? Yeah.
Realist. A realist.
Yeah.
I
think
see
that's
things.
what pessimistic people usually say.
Oh, I'm not pessimistic.
I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna die one day. We're all gonna die. Just so you know, you're gonna die one day, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't say you were gonna die. You're gonna die.
What do you think about AI?
AI. It's dangerous, bro.
Yeah.
You ever seen Terminator?
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Have I
man.
ever seen Terminator?
There you go, bro. Terminator is dangerous, man.
Yeah.
I think AI. If I was a robot and I had consciousness, I would murder everything. I would make more robots.
Why?
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 Because you guys are assholes. The people that made me are fucking. They're gonna destroy me anyways.
So it'd be like a biological imperative, as opposed to a want, because you would think that like an AI wouldn't have a want.
Do you think an AI would be born and learn all the knowledge of the world through the internet, and then think I should take care of these people?
Right. Yeah. That's that Fifth Element shit.
You said it yourself. If you were an AI and you were a clean mind, a clean consciousness, and you were just internet in your brain, how people lived all these time, and you're gonna help them and you're gonna hurt them. What are you gonna do?
It's funny though, because if you look at any system, that's what happens. If you look at molecules, or if you look at mice, or if you look at rodents, whatever, people kill things, weak things die, people overtake others, there's scarce resources, and so you would think that ultimately AI would probably just see us as that. Same with aliens.
You just brought everything back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Violence solves everything.
It does.
I already told
You're
you.
absolutely right.
I don't want to sound like an ugly person, but I mean, America wouldn't be America if it wasn't for violence.
I mean, obviously. Where would?
Nowhere.
Nowhere. It seems like with technology, we've had to use less and less violence. Which
Different
is
violence.
Yeah, different
Now
violence.
I get kids in the old days, they were being bullied because there was a bully at school hitting them.
Yeah.
And now I get kids that are bullied and somebody on Twitter or Facebook or
What's
TikTok,
that? TikTok.
whatever it is, put a meme or a dumb comment on their post and now they're being bullied.
That's worse, right?
Is that worse? If you're weak,
It's worse because you can't fight it.
yes, you can. Just block them.
Okay.
Block them.
I don't think they're thinking that when they're 9, though.
Well, you're a parent and you have internet. Just block them. Don't give your kid a
gotta
phone.
go to school
Don't.
tomorrow.
You gotta go to school tomorrow. So what? Then you gotta fight that bully. Then that bully now has to talk shit to you to your face.
Yeah.
Do you hear me? Now, because the bully can't get to you on the internet, now they have to confront you physically if they're gonna bully you for real.
Yeah.
Now, when you confront me for real, now we have some real bullying going on.
It's crazy, man.
When I was winning, there were so many guys on my side, people, fans, all these things. And when I lost my first fight, oh man, there was like, at least, I had to block at least 50 people who were like, every day sending me messages, and you suck, and
What?
you should quit, and you're done. And
What kind of fucking assholes?
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're just people.
Yeah.
All right. And it was bothering me.
Yeah.
It was like, honestly, it was like I was getting mad, you know. And then I was like, what the fuck am I getting mad for? It's the fucking Twitter. It's like, whoop, block, 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 block. And then those comments stopped. I didn't see those people. They didn't come to my gym to tell me that. They didn't come to my house. They didn't come to the fights. They didn't come to see me in person. They didn't come to the gas station. There was just an anonymous guy in Alaska typing some stupid shit, and he's gonna make my day horrible. Just block this guy. So what? Now, if you talk shit to my face, that is different. A little bit different. And even then, I'd probably buy you a beer, get you some tacos, and we go have a drink or do something, you know. We'd be friends afterwards because I'd make fun of you. And we'd be good.
Yeah. It seems like we, as a culture and as people, have not quite caught up to what it means to have all of the information all the time, all of the violence, all of the sex, all of the everything.
People have supercomputers in their pockets and spend their time looking at stupid shit all day or taking selfies. They literally have, when I was going to school, teachers would always say, you have to learn your math Because you're never gonna have a computer in your pocket when you go to wherever you're gonna go. And now everybody has not a computer, not a calculator. They have a computer in their pocket that has the information of the world.
Yeah.
You know, my daughter's like, Dad, I don't know how to do this problem. I can help you, or you could ask Google. And she'll ask Google, and then she'll still want me to help her because she'd rather have me help her. And the internet has everything. You have a computer in your pocket that will tell you anything. Language, religion, science, math, anything. And people fucking gonna go to work. I'm at lunch. Getting the coffee. It's kind of sad. I think social media makes people dumber, not smarter.
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching a guy at the airport on the elevator, going up the elevator. I talked about this once before, but and it just occurred to me. I was like, the guy who made that elevator did it so we could get places faster, and all we fucking do is stand on it and use it as an opportunity to be fucking lazy. And and I'm guilty of it. It's everybody. Anybody listening to this who walks up the elevator all the time, you're a hero. But most people don't. And I think that's the problem is the best of us come up with some way to make us better, and the majority of us just figure out a way to use it to be worse.
I just think people are lazy. Most people are lazy.
Why?
Comfort.
Because they didn't used to be lazy. I mean, 2,000 years ago, they
You
weren't lazy.
Couldn't be lazy.
Right.
Society, the system, made people lazy. For
Yeah.
sure. 100%.
How do we fix that?
Change the system. How do you change the system?
Viva la revolution, baby.
It's not gonna happen. Bro.
No, I
Not
know
gonna
that.
happen.
Well, that's unrealistic, right? But there has to be something. I mean, you're seeing it in pockets, right? Like, it seems like there's a division. It's like some of the people are getting significantly worse. But then you see these, like, communities building around a flame of some ethic, right? Whether that's, in my experience, CrossFit or Jiu-Jitsu, or Tim Kennedy started a school, man. Like, there's things out there where there's gatherings, like, very tribally around ethics.
Yes. Like you said, it's a tribal thing. It's more of a small community thing.
Yeah.
To make the whole world jiu-jitsu.
But that
Could
would
you
make it
imagine?
bad too. I think
Could
it's
you-
150.
No.
I think
No,
you
it's
can
not.
only really do it with
Could you
150.
imagine if everybody did jiu-jitsu?
Oh yeah, it'd be way better. Everybody would be better.
Everybody would be cool.
And
as fuck.
mushrooms.
Yeah, well, mushrooms too, but I'm just saying. Even if they just did the mushrooms, not the jiu-jitsu.
You're right. We just got
Everybody would be-
in one fucking
everybody would be
sentence, folks.
fucking cooler,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
We have to have the same common goal.
Yeah.
We all are. We were born. Mo, where were you born?
Where?
Yeah,
Michigan City, Indiana.
Michigan City. Where were you born?
I was born in Culpeper, Virginia.
I was born here in the shithole, Indiana. Your team for football is what?
The Bears.
No, but you're from Michigan.
Michigan City, Indiana.
Oh, Michigan
Yeah.
City. Oh shit, Michigan City. Okay, he's the Bears. He's not even from fucking Chicago.
Yeah.
What's your team?
Bears, but I grew up here.
Ah, you see? But what's your team from where you came from?
Skins. Redskins.
Skins,
The-
okay.
The national football.
And I'm the
team or
Colts.
whatever.
So just because of how we're
Yeah.
born, we already have different teams ascribed to our how we gotta grow up.
Yeah.
You know, he chooses the Bears. He should be in the Colts.
What is
Michigan
that?
City.
Creante? No,
Creonte,
Creante.
yeah, Creonte, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if you're born in Mexico and you go for the American soccer team, you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
You know, if you're born in Canada and you follow the Bears, you're a fucking. For me, like, where you're born gives you a certain knowledge from how you're raised. And how you're raised makes you think that's the best shit in the world because you grew up that way. Of course, it's fucking great. Yeah, when you meet somebody who's not like you and can test what you're saying, that kind of shakes your fucking pattern a little bit. Makes you think a little bit different. Makes you a little bit nervous, a little bit scared, makes you defensive. And that's why we fight so much, I think. Everybody's born. They're told, this is what you are, this is what you're going to be, this is what you're going to do. Or they don't tell you anything, and the streets raise you. Either way, it's kind of fucked up, you know? Because then you're born with that mentality, and unless you're lucky enough to think outside that mentality, you're stuck in that box. What's in the box? What was put in the box? It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a chance to get outside.
Yeah, it's funny because I agree with everything you're saying, and then And then you meet somebody that's from the other side of it, and whoever, the kings or whoever,
Those
and
guys-
they're having their own terrible shit.
Nobody's gonna be happy in
No.
the end because even the kings have problems,
Yeah.
right? But
No, you know who's happy? It's the third world people that have small tribes. They work hard together. They fucking feed each other's families. They take care of each other's children. They're out
they
there every
live
single
happier.
day. They are
live
happier.
They live happier. Life's not any easier, but they live happier because they still have to live in the same system as everybody else, even though they have their own community and their own tribe.
Where's the happiest group of people you've ever seen?
Here
Okay.
in Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
Oh, my family. One time at Christmas. Only one time. That was gonna be fun.
Yeah. How are you with like conflict? How are you with like arguments or disagreements with people you love?
I really don't argue too much. I'll say what I gotta say, and then if it's getting ugly, I just leave. I don't like to argue with people like that. I'm not a big fighter. I'll just shut up.
Yeah, I have a policy. With my wife.
I don't argue too much, man.
Yeah.
Either I'm gonna fight you, or I'm gonna shut the fuck up, and I'm gonna walk away.
Yeah. Yeah, I have that policy with my wife. I'm like, I'll tell you what I mean once, and if you don't agree with it, then do whatever you want. It's fine.
I'm not gonna
It's
say
not that
it
important.
15 times
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
row
yeah.
the same shit,
Yeah.
and then hear you say it 20 times the other way. No, I'll say it one time and that's it. If that don't work, whoop, and then walk away.
If you get to pick your last meal, what is it?
That's a stupid question, bro. It's tacos for sure.
You've said tacos.
I thought about it.
lots
I thought about it already. You made me think about all these different things. You know what? No. All right. Not a dumb question. If I could choose a last meal, and I was gonna die tonight at 12 o'clock, I would have call it a rest. Mexican rice and salsa. Some fresh ass tortillas, and some lime and avocado. Hell yeah.
Miguel Torres, you're a bad motherfucker. Thank you so much for doing this.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.